So Morbius just had some test screenings, and it's not looking great for the film because apparently the film has cut all the Spider-Man Easter eggs and references from the trailers that we know of. Along with connections through Vulture, all of those scenes have been cut from the movie in favor of making Morbius in its own isolated universe in the multiverse. But Vulture will only be making his appearance in the post-credit scene of the film instead. Let's talk about this. So with Vulture making his appearance in the post-credit scene, it still ties the film to the MCU. In fact, although Sony is changing this movie to be its own thing in its own universe, they released a promo recently teasing Jared Leto's Morbius to be a part of a multiverse that has just opened up to assemble a group of villains together eventually. We know that Kraven the Hunter is getting his own movie, and Aaron Taylor Johnson is attached as Kraven almost a year ago, and filming hasn't even begun on that project yet. So it is likely that even with the lack of Spider-Man references in Morbius, this movie might make up for that with a Kraven the Hunter appearance, because why cast him over a year ago if you didn't have plans for him earlier than his own solo projects? Kind of like how Marvel casted Mahersala Ali as Blade years before his movie would ever film, and it still hasn't started production, and it's so they can put him in the post-credit scene of Eternals when Blade addresses Dane Whitman. Now, all the Spidey Easter eggs are out of the Morbius movie, so what does that mean for the Venom reference said by the cop and Morbius himself? Well, in that same promotional video that I mentioned before, they did put that scene in there, and they are advertising the movie with that blatant Venom reference in there too. So it will likely keep its connection to the Venom universe instead. Does this mean that Venom will appear in the movie? I think it's very likely when you have two references to him in the trailer, so there's a lot of setup and there's going to be a lot of angry fans if there's no payoff. So put Venom in your movie. Hey, you made this far, you might as well subscribe if you're new to Brain Rotters, as well as hitting that bell for notifications so you don't miss another video just like this one as well. God bless. Now, why the sudden push for no Spidey references at all in all the cut Vulture scenes though? Well, we can tie this to the early critical reviews of the movie, which have not all been good. Some have been good, but for the most part, not much can be said that is good. Sony is even letting the full review embargo lift one day prior to Morbius's release. Now, if the reviews were solid so far, they would let the full review surface online to join the movie in good promotion, but so far none have been. So if Sony eliminates the Spidey references entirely, then it eliminates the big impact on the Spideyverse that they were hoping this movie would have. I saw another content creator refer to this as Sony just sweeping the movie under the rug like it never happened, and just keep Morbius in its own universe just in case fans despise not the movie but the character, because if fans don't like what's done with the character, then fans won't want to see the character again. Now, do I think it's likely that Morbius will return again just because they still have Michael Keaton's Vulture in the post-credit scene? And I do think that Sony is gunning for a Sinister Six team up very, very soon, with Kraven being the next big bad to get his own villain origin story. If they choose to get rid of Morbius as a character and forget about him, then they've set themselves back 2 years already. So is it worth it to get rid of these Spidey references and kick him out of the Spideyverse? I don't think so. Thank you all so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Thank you all so much for subscribing as well. Continually, we are growing. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing. Thank you all. Take care. Have a blessed day. God bless.